Now, another Farman reference which will help us, jolt us if we really understand it in relation to this topic today. You've heard this Farman very many times, but let's look at it differently today. Dar es Salaam, 29 September 1899. The status of man is high, but he debases it with his own hands. Those of you who strive to become like Pir Sadruddin, Pir Shams and Mansoor can become so. You can even elevate higher than them. You can elevate even higher than them. We were children when we were entered in this Satpandin. Now Imam is asking, don't just stay there. Grow up. Don't stay stuck there. Become like your teacher. Become like your teacher. And when Mawla says you can, meaning we can. The question is, do we want to? Pir, being our teacher, studied Quran to teach us, to bring us to this path. The same rank is being opened up for us. Imam is inviting us to learn this, to become like your teacher. Do we want to? Another Farman. Dar es Salaam, September 29th, 1899. But the one having no knowledge says, I am going nowhere. I am staying here. My Farman cannot touch the hearts of such persons. He who cannot understand, how can his heart be touched? And how can he be convinced? Those who can understand my Farman will find it sweet. Here, we need to ask this question to ourselves. It's an individual reflection. Do we understand these Farmans? Are we grown up? What is our choice? Maulana Hazri Imam made another Farman at London, United Kingdom on August 5th, 1994. Maula says, think about what that means in meritocratic society. It is a remarkable feature of our tradition that we may prepare for the future. We may seek education wherever it may be, and we will always be in keeping with one of the fundamental premises of our tariqah, which is the development of human intellect. Therefore, in looking to the years ahead, keep strong and loyal and united to the practice of the faith. It is a faith, must be a faith of conviction, not a faith of convenience, as has occurred in some other faiths in other parts of the world. And it is a faith of conviction, then it is a faith of conviction, not only in the heart of the soul, of the intellect. It is a faith of conviction of intellect and of ethic. Now there are so many questions which need not to be answered in the group, but it's for our own individual reflection, thinking. Do we want to follow Imam's Farman and become like our Pir, who studied Quran? And based on that, wrote Ginans. What is our belief? How strong it is? Is our faith based on conviction or convenience? Maulana Hazri Imam at Nairobi, Kenya, Parklands Jamaat Khana on December 13th, 1973 made this farman. Maula says, and when I decide to make a farman for the future of my spiritual children, remember that this farman and the contents of it have been carefully weighed, and that I have information which my spiritual children do not have. And this evening, I want you to reflect carefully about the dangers of letting the Jamaat be misguided by rumors, by people who talk freely, irresponsibly, and out of turn. The Quran would reveal to the Muslims, and in the Quran you will find many ayats which refers to the risk and the dangers of Muslims being led astray by rumor mongers. It is possible, probable, or a perception in some of the Jamaat members that if one studies Quran, there is a fear that they will leave our tariqah or they will leave Imam, or their faith is not firm. That's why they need the knowledge of Quran. It is their doubt which pushes them to go to Quran. This thought, perception, fear, it is all baseless. Unfortunately, it has set in some Jamaati members, and it relates to only lack of knowledge. Only lack of knowledge. In the whole world, there are 15 million Ismailis. How many? 15 millions Ismaili. Only 2 million are actually from Indo-Pak. All remaining Ismailis know Imam from Quran. It is the only Jamaat who came from Indo-Pak who do not know Quran. And I'd like to quote a brief story here. When Maulana Hazri Imam became Imam, Syrian Jamaat had concerns. They conveyed their concerns that they are having difficulty. They are having difficulty to accept Hazri Imam as an Imam. Very pure Jamaat, very firm in knowledge, very strong Jamaat, but they had concerns. They said, when they were asked, what is your concern? They said that we know the principle of light upon light, Nurun Allah Nur, from Ayah Nur, from Quran. We are having difficulty to accept Maulana Hazri Imam, who is the grandson of Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah. At that time, Prince Ali Salman Khan, being the father of Hazri Imam and Hazri Imam, they went to Syria. And Prince Ali Khan said, do you consider me your Imam? And they said, yes, Khudawan, we do. You are the son of Sultan Muhammad Shah. And Prince Ali Salman Khan said, if you consider me as Imam, then as your Imam, then as your Imam, I tell you to do bayat on my son Kareem. And they said, Labbaik Khudawan, Ji Khudawan. It was their knowledge based on Quran made them raise their concern. And Imam happily went there. He was proud and happy that they had the knowledge. Light upon light. To study Quran is farman bardari. To study Quran is to have ishq, love of Imam in our heart. There's another farman Maulana Hazrat Imam gave at Vancouver, Canada, October 6th, 2005. You are aware, of course, that over the history of Islam, there are thousands and thousands of interpretations of the Quran for every time. For every part within the Ummah, there have been interpretations of the Quran. And it is important that as time evolves, we should continue under the guidance of the Imam to seek clarity and understanding from the Quran-e-Sharif. Now let's take this farman bit by bit and understand it. Maula says, the history of Islam, there are thousands and thousands of interpretation of the Quran for every time. This tells us that the book Quran is of today. Teachings of Quran, the tawilat of Quran, it is applicable to us today. It is not the book of stories. It is not the book of history. It is the book of guidance and book of education for our tariqah. And Maula says the interpretations of the Quran for every time. So for us being in this time, it is our duty to understand the interpretation of today's time so we can benefit from it, get the guidance from it, get the education from it. Then Maula says, for every part within the Ummah, there have been interpretation of the Quran. This means that we need to have our own interpretation. When one starts studying Quran, may not know Arabic, get impressed by people from other sects of Islam, example Sunni, starts reading or listening to their interpretations, which may lead us in a wrong direction because we don't have any benchmarks to evaluate against it, to evaluate it. If the knowledge is given, if the knowledge is given by them, is it correct or not? We won't know. So the lesson that we need to learn from this farman, when Maula says, for every part within the Ummah, there have been interpretation of the Quran. We need to look for the interpretation in our own tariqah. We should not go out to learn about Quran outside our tariqah. We need to have knowledge from within our tariqah. It is very easy to feel that it's the same book. It's the Quran. They read it too, so we read it too. Why can't we learn from them? Imam is telling us that the interpretation is different. Interpretation is different. So we need to study the interpretations of it, the ta'wil of it. Ta'wil is the batin. Remember, we have to start the journey physically. Physical is the door to batin. We need to read the Tanzil, the Quran, to understand, to enter into the batin. We need to start the journey at a physical level. And Imam has promised that he is there to guide us. He will guide us. Then Maula says in his farman, we should continue under the guidance of Imam to seek clarity and understanding from the Quran-e-Sharif. We should continue under the guidance of the Imam. Does it not surprise you to hear Imam is saying we should? As if he needs to learn the interpretation of Quran? Imam is universal intellect encompassed in him. He knows it all. Why would he say we should continue? One may say, oh, Imam is teaching us humility here. I would agree with that. Imam is. But is that all? Do we recognize Imam? Do we recognize Imam to be able to realize how his guidance come to us? If we study Golden Jubilee Farameens, he emphasized on doing zikr, keeping tasbih with us, attend knowledge classes. Didn't mention REC. He said knowledge classes, ilm classes. And at the same time, during the Golden Jubilee, he asked us to recite Hadith Saklan, standing up. Hadith Saklan, which talks about two weighty things. Weighty things? Why? Do we have to carry these all the time? No. Why weighty? Weighty is representing the farman bardari of it. Carry the Quran and the Imam all the time in your heart, in your actions. They both are equal, Imam and Quran. So if we see those who have left Imam and only follow Quran, they are not following the farman of Prophet Muhammad. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, we Ismaili are the blessed one who have the knowledge of Quran, are learning the Quran and its tawilat along with following the farmans of Hazrat Imam. There is another hadith which says that at the day of judgment, Maula Ali and the book of Allah will meet at Hauz-e Kausar, the pond of abundance. They will never be separated. What does that mean to us? Golden Jubilee, Imam also gave us Ayah Nur to recite. Why? Because it has a proof of Imamat from Quran, Nurun Allah Nur. And we recited that in US at least 18 months, standing up. Why Imam had to do that? Imam was telling us to recite this verse from Quran so we may pay attention to Quran. We seek to understand that verse from the Quran. How many of us took that ishara, followed the farman of Imam? Imam is so merciful. There is no limit to his mercy. In Golden Jubilee, he gave us Farameen on Zikr. We recited Ayah Nur and Hadith Saklan. And then in Diamond Jubilee, what did he do? He gave us all the title of Thy. In the hierarchy of religion, when one starts learning the knowledge, he is the absolute earth, the first stage, Mustajib, and that we are at that level in the hierarchy of religion. After Mustajib comes Mazoon. Mazoon-e-Mutallaq, Mazoon-e-Mukammal. Then comes Dai. Dai-e-Mutallaq, Dai-e-Mukammal. And then comes Peer, Hujjat. From Mustajib, Mazoon under training, Mazoon complete, Dai under training, Dai complete, Peer. Do we understand what Imam is doing? How is he bestowing his mercy upon us? He gave us the title of Thy, 1, 2, 3, 4 ranks, pushed to the 5th rank. Though it is potential, it is not actual. We are still actually at the Mustajib level. But he, with his immense mercy, he pushed us up at Dai. Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah made the farman in 1899 that if you want to become Pir, you can. For all that years, what Imam has been wanting us to do, it's not been happening. So what does he do? Merciful Imam pushes us up. The question is, what do we want? What is our choice? So potentially, we all are Dais. And in Dai, if you were to review the ranks in hierarchy of religion, Dai, Dai-e-Mahdud and Dai-e-Mukammal. A Dai who is under training and Dai who has completed his training. And then that completed Dai learns from Pir, the Hujjat. Only learning and understanding this makes me Giryan. Imam is so merciful. There is no limit to his mercy. He is so merciful. And then Imam, for younger generation, started this step curriculum. And I hope all of us know this book. I want to show it to you. Step curriculum at secondary level. The Quran and its interpretation. So Imam has been doing what he is supposed to do. He's been guiding us. The question here is, who is paying attention? What is our choice? So I'll end my lecture here. If any one of you has any question or comment, you can post your name on the chat so one of us can unmute you. Thank you. Very good question. How does one begin learning the Quran, a person that has never read the Quran? This desire that you want to learn the Quran, that's it, that's amazing. If you have that desire, Imam will make it possible. It is not necessary that each one of us has to know Arabic. If we are attending these ilm classes, whatever verse we discuss, if you can go back and review that verse, slowly you will learn Quran. Baby steps, take step by step. Don't feel overwhelmed with the language. When you want to study Quran, I would recommend 2 Qurans. We all have to have 2 Qurans, one Shia and one Sunni. So we can understand how the translation is changed based on the belief. And if we do not know Arabic, some friends who do study Quran with me, all of them, they don't know Arabic. So I help them read with transliteration. It could be overwhelming if you have never learned Quran. Simply what you need to do is to review the verses which you hear in the classes, and step by step you will start learning. And remember, Imam's mercy is with us. If you would like to contact me individually to talk to me, you're most welcome. So the question I just got, our Ginans have all the essence from Quran. What is your view on it? My whole lecture was based on that. I wonder if you were here listening throughout the lecture.
Ya Ali Madad.
Malai Madad.
Thank you. Subhanallah. MashaAllah. Very good. Excellent.
Shukr alhamdulillah. Shukr alhamdulillah.
I have a question, NIAMAT.
Please, go ahead.
So, Sultan Muhammad Shah's farmans were in the late 1800s in Dar es Salaam. So, I'm from Tanzania. So, maybe not exactly at the end of the 1800s, but certainly shortly after, my ancestors from India came, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from my grandparents, when I was growing up in Dar es Salaam, Quran was never brought up. Although Sultan Muhammad Shah's Farman was already there. Like nobody ever mentioned it. And now, it just seems lately, maybe my awareness since COVID, or perhaps in the last 2 years, I've become a bit more interested. The Quran has come in the forefront for me. But I'm wondering, I'm not blaming anybody. I don't mean to blame, but I don't know how else to say it. Like our religious mission classes when we were going in Dar es Salaam didn't focus on Quran at all. So I feel in a way, now I'm in my mid-60s, and I feel kind of let down. And language, Arabic has become a problem. And when I read the Quran, I read it, but I just read it like a novel. Like it, like you were saying, if you really want it, Mola will kind of open the door or whatever. Like, if you want to understand it. But I just take it literally, and then I don't get the hakikati so much out of it. So I'm a bit kind of feel shortchanged that my 3/4 of my life has passed. Who knows, maybe almost the whole of it. And I haven't experienced the essence of my faith.
I hear you. I acknowledge you. It is unfortunate what has happened in the past. But past is past. The way you asked me this question, I heard it as your Girya Azari. When a moment does Girya Azari from the bottom of their heart, it reaches to Imam's court. He is the Malik, Kun Fayakun ka Malik. Anything and everything can happen for you, my sister. Yes, it's good to be Giryan. It's good to be wanting, desiring the knowledge, but you are not left behind at all. I do not know Arabic. Would you believe that? I do not know. But I want to learn, so I keep striving. I know Urdu. I do not know Arabic, but I try and study it and learn few verses if I can, so I can keep learning. I mostly read translation. So I would say that I understand your Girya Azari, and it is amazing to be complaining to Mola Bapa. But at the same time, don't think of you as needing to learn. Look at his mercy, which is beyond everything. Change this Girya Azari, this pain, into learning. And Imam's mercy is so immense that for a young child who is learning to study Quran or Arabic, I gave an example somewhere else too, that he will get for one effort, one sawab. But if you try to do something for one effort, you will get sawa lakh ka sawab. Because that's Imam's mercy. If you try, he will make things easier for you. However, we got to be positive. We got to be shukr guzar, happy, patient, and try as much as you are learning. Do you think COVID just came for the sickness or the virus? No. It is truly a Qiyamat which came on us. The word Qiyamat means to bring change. And our lives have changed. Alhamdulillah. So we are so blessed that there is no place for anything to complain about anything. Shukr alhamdulillah. I am proud of you. I am happy that you are doing Giryazari. I am happy to hear that you are desiring to learn. No one now can stop you from learning. No one.
NIAMAT by my Ali Madad. This is Romina from India.
Malali Madad.
Yes, I really appreciate your efforts, the way you have explained the importance of studying Quran. But I want you to make this a clear point, because what has happened in the past, that after reading Quran, our Jamaati members have left our faith because they did not read Quran with the help of the light of Imam's farmans, So because as per Hadith Saklain, Prophet Muhammad has left two bhari cheez, right? One is Quran and another is light. And the light is Mawla. And Mawla means farmans. So we have to read Quran and with the light of Imam's farmans. So that is the real risk. Those who have read Quran in the past without the light of Imam's farmans, they have gone astray. And this should not happen. Now Imam is focusing more on studying Quran because now he takes us as mature moments. Earlier we were moments in our childhood or in the young youth. Now Imam considers us as mature moments with a mature intellect. So that was a different time and this is a different time. So now Imam is focusing more on studying Qurans and not earlier. Right? Because now he knows that we will study Quran with the light of Imam's farmans, and that is very important. Otherwise, there are chances that the moments can go astray.
So I would say, Rumina, that I agree that today's time is different. We need to study today, gather in these ilm classes from Jamaati members. Do not read others, do not attend or do not listen to others' interpretations. We first need to become strong in our own tariqah, get the knowledge, and then go out. What happens sometimes that you learn few basics verses and then you start talking to other interpretations of Quran, other tariqahs in other sects in Islam, and it's very easy for doubts to enter. Urdu mein kehte hain, neem hakim khatra-e jaan. You have to have complete knowledge staying within your tariqah, from your tariqah, then only you go out. So yes, I agree with you. Today we all are ready. It is time. Imam is emphasizing. Imam has made it possible for us through COVID-19 to get united like this from different places, different countries, to learn about this knowledge. And being gathered here together, it's a blessing of Imam. We have to be careful. I would never recommend, if somebody asks me, how should I study Quran? I would never say, go ahead and start playing the translation or start reading the Quran. No, I don't. I say, whatever we discuss in the class, go back and read that verse. And even if you have question, bring it back. So you do what we do when we are learning Quran. We are trying to start from the basic to keep going up step by step.